Hi everyone, welcome back to my travel channel. Today I thought I would share with you my 2-week route around Taiwan to show you just how much this small country has to offer. Throughout the 2 weeks I travelled to 5 different main cities and tried out many different activities, from visiting temples to hiking national parks and of course trying out new food at the many night markets. Hopefully this video will give you some inspiration to visit and fall in love with Taiwan as much as I did. Now let's get into the video. On day 1 in Taipei, I spent the morning exploring the Ximending area. This area is known for its colourful street art, its quirky streets, its arcades. There's loads of different shops, restaurants, street performers, you name it. I then spent the afternoon in one of the older districts in Taipei, known as the Wanhu district, and here the main highlight was visiting the Longshan temple. This is a mix between a Taoist and a Buddhist temple. My previous video actually goes into more detail about the religion, so I'd go check that out. On day 2 in Taipei, I took a day trip to an old train track line known as the Pingxi line. The first stop on the line was a place called Hutong Cat Village, which surprisingly had lots of cats there. It also had a really nice view of the mountainous area. I then hopped back on the train and stopped off at a place called Jiufen. This is famous for people setting off lanterns, and I also walked about 30 minutes to a local waterfall known as Jiufen Waterfall, which was beautiful as well. On day 3 in Taipei, I spent the morning exploring the famous Taipei 101. I decided to climb up Elephant Mount to get the best view of the tower. There were lots of stairs, but I made it in the end, and the view was more than worth the climb. In the evening, I then headed to Raohe Night Market. The highlight of this was trying the pepper cake at a Michelin recommended place, and it was delicious. On day 4 in Taipei, I took another day trip to a mountainous town called Jiufen. It has really nice views of the sea, and there's also a cool temple there you can explore. I then headed to the Old Street, which has lots of narrow alleyways filled with lots of souvenir shops and tea houses to try the local tea. And then in the evening I headed back to the Ximending area to catch some of the amazing street performers. Day 5 was then spent travelling by train from Taipei to Taichung. On day 6, I caught a bus from Taichung to a place called the Sun Moon Lake. The bus took about 2 hours and the lake was beautiful. My first stop after Taipei is a city called Taichung, and one of the things I definitely recommend doing there is taking a day trip to the Sun Moon Lake, which is where I am currently. You can hire a bike and drive around the lake. There's loads of different stops on the way, different temples, different viewpoints that you can stop at, and I think when I checked it's about a 30-kilometre cycle, which without stopping at all would maybe take you like an hour or 2. That's me about halfway around the lake right now, and there's loads of things to do at this point. There's a cable car up the mountain. There's a town with loads of different markets, and there's a beautiful view of the lake. So I am here in Rainbow Village in Taichung. I just got the bus here this morning. This place is so cool. It's like the perfect Instagrammable spot, I guess. There's like loads of artwork, all brightly coloured. And basically it was an old man who painted all of this to try and attract people to this area because it was a bit more, I guess, run down before, and it's so beautifully kept. So I'll show you the artwork, and yeah, this is what I did on my second day in Taichung. I then spent the afternoon travelling by train from Taichung to Tainan. And I am here at my first stop in Tainan, which is the Blueprint Culture and Creative Park. It says online it was actually previously prison dormitories that they've converted into this kind of art, creative, design space, so there's cool street art, there's loads of different independent shops where they're selling their own, I guess, like pottery, jewellery, artwork, things like that. So yeah, it's really cool. On day 8, I had the full day to explore the historical town of Tainan. I am here at Anping Port, one of the oldest ports here in Tainan. There's a really cool like old tree house here. Basically there's a warehouse that was actually owned by, I think, like a British person, and they used to store like salt and goods in there. Basically eventually the port became redundant and so did the warehouse, so it became completely abandoned, and these trees, known as banyan trees, have completely taken over the place, and they've ended up turning it into a tourist destination because it looks really cool and very Instagrammable, I guess. So they've built walkways so you get like a better view of the warehouse and the trees and stuff, so I'll show you what it looks like. These are the banyan trees here. You can see the frame of the warehouse, the old warehouse here, and all the roots. So the name of this place is Anping Treehouse. It's maybe like a 30-minute bus ride from the centre of Tainan, so it's super easy to get to, and I had to pay, I think it was £2 UK money entrance, so about 70 Taiwanese dollars. And I am here at my second spot on my, I guess, historic tour of Tainan, and that is the Anping Fort, which is just next to the Anping Treehouse that you'll just have seen. This fort dates back to like the 1600s. It was actually the Dutch that originally built it, and they had named it Fort Zeelandia, literally meaning where the land meets the sea. It's kind of similar vibes, I guess, to the Anping tree house, and the banyan trees have all kind of taken over the walls to an extent and been growing. So this one's a lot more, I guess, intact than the one you've seen previously. But I'll show you around and show you what it's like. Again, I had to pay 70 Taiwanese dollars to get in here, so again, really cheap, and you get a wee information leaflet telling you all about the history of the place. You can see the walls and the old cannons. And here is the main fort, so you can actually go up and get a good view. So I'll check in when I'm at the top of the tower. I don't know if you can even read that sign, but I am here on my third stop on my tour around Tainan, and that is to Shenong Street. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, but this street actually dates back to the Qing dynasty, and it's really like quaint. It's got all like cute cafes and shops and souvenirs and stuff, so it's really nice just to walk down. I think it's maybe better coming at night because a lot of the restaurants are like bar vibes as well, so a lot of them seem closed right now, but it's really pretty just to walk down anyway. There's loads of cute lanterns, and yeah, it's really nice. I'll show you what it's like, and that's on my third stop on my tour around Tainan today. Literally everywhere you walk here in Tainan there's some kind of temple. So behind me is one of the biggest ones, the Grand Mazu Temple. So I'll show you what it's like, but you could literally wander around the streets for hours just looking at all the kind of smaller temples, watching people praying and things like that. It's really nice. So yeah, this is my last stop on my tour of Tainan today, and tomorrow I head to Kaohsiung, I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'll show you around the temple first. This is a Taoist temple. You can see all the gods that I was talking about in another video. god of matchmaking, god of childbirth, kings of the water. So you can go to whatever god and pray to them. Day 9 was another travel day. This time I caught the train from Tainan to Kaohsiung, which took about 2 hours I think. And then on day 10 I spent the day exploring Kaohsiung. So my next stop on my tour around Taiwan is to a place called Kaohsiung. I think that's how you pronounce it. I think it's the second biggest city out with Taipei, of course. And yeah, I've got a few days here. So on my first day, I've headed to this little island called Taichung, I think. I'm probably butchering that completely. It's just this tiny island off the coast of the mainland, and you can either get a bus here that drives underwater, there's a tunnel, or you can get a ferry. And there's a big beach that you can go see, there's some cool artwork. So yeah, I'm going to see what this island has to offer. So I'm here at my first stop in Jiufen Island, apparently that's how you pronounce it. And there's this cool art installation, it's called Rainbow Church, as you can see. And then once you've looked at the cool artwork, you can walk straight onto the beach. It's actually black sand, I'm not sure exactly how that occurs, but it's still beautiful. Looks pretty rugged, I guess, compared to the white sands in other countries out here in Southeast Asia, but still beautiful nonetheless. I'm here at an area in Kaohsiung known as the Pier 2 Art Centre. It's basically like old warehouses, there's like an old railway track, and there's loads of art here. There's lots of outdoor sculptures, there's art inside the old warehouses, there's street art, there's everything. But it's a really nice area just to either walk around or cycle around because it's huge, there's so much art here. Another thing to do in Kaohsiung is visit this underground station. It's got this beautiful artwork that's meant to represent life, apparently. It's meant to represent birth, growth, glory and dimming of the cosmos. And apparently it was named the second most beautiful subway in the world. It is beautiful. And apparently there's a light show at 8 PM, so I'm going to come back and see. But look at that, stunning. Day 11 was also spent in Kaohsiung, so let's see what I got up to. I'm at another area full of loads of street art again. It's called Weiwuying, this area, and again there's just so much street art here. Pretty similar, I guess, to the Pier 2 district that I was at yesterday or the day before, but I'll show you what some of the street art's like here. It's crazy how many buildings here are covered in street art. Imagine living in one of these buildings and that's how your house is decorated. So cool. It looks like these flats are a kind of under the sea themed one. So cool. And then this whole building's covered as well. Just makes the place so bright and colourful and pretty, doesn't it? Like coming from Scotland where all the houses are pretty similar and pretty beige, it's really nice seeing one so beautifully and colourfully decorated. The most colourful neighbourhood. I'm here at the Sanfeng Temple here in Kaohsiung. This is another Taoist temple and it's well known for its hundreds or probably thousands of lovely red lanterns. Day 12 was the longest travel day of all. I took a train from Kaohsiung to Hualien, which took about 4.5 hours, but the views were lovely from the window. I'm here in Takoro National Park in Taiwan. It's about an hour bus ride away from Hualien. That's the kind of nearest biggest city. And this national park is known for its gorges, its steep mountains and its lovely clear blue water. There's loads of different trails you can do here. You could spend days hiking the different trails, but I'm going on 2 different trails today. They're more scenic ones, so I will show you what they look like. Then you can walk through the rock face here. Look how blue the water is. Hopefully this shows up well on the camera. I'm now at a trail called Swallow Grotto, and this is definitely the nicest one. It's got the bluest water, the most dramatic, I guess, cliffs. There's lots of marbling in the cliffs. It's so nice, I'll show you. I think it's clear from this video just how much this small country has to offer. Please let me know in the comments if you have been to Taiwan, and let me know where your favourite place was. As always, thanks for watching and happy travelling.